What up, guys? Welcome back to Base Damage. This week we are bringing to you a new deck profile. This is based around the Alien Sisters, the Deviluke Sisters, I should say, from To Love Ru, with Momo, Nana, and Lala. There's so much of the alliteration in there, right? But the entire deck's red. This is actually a really interestingly consistent deck. May just be my luck on that, but of the times that I've test played this deck, it works. It works really well, and your shit does not die easy. Put it that way. I definitely would recommend this deck if anybody wanted to get into To Love Ru, because this is also a fairly cheap deck. There's a couple cards that are probably worth, like, the level 3 Momo is worth $8, and the level 0 Nana, the Brainstormer, is like $7 or $8 as well. But you don't need that terribly many copies of each of those to enjoy the deck. I do have an alternate build that I want to test out if I can get some of the promos, some more of them, because I only have these two right now. But if I can get more of those, I'll explain this combo off of this Momo later on for a alternate build that I'm trying to mess around with and trying to see if that will work once I get all the promos for that. But for now, To Love Ru Aliens, let's get right into it. So to start off with, I have, this is from the Tra deck, this first card, is this level 0 Momo that on play, you look at the top card of your deck and you either leave it there on top of the deck or you put it into the waiting room, which is really good because you got a couple top check effects throughout this deck, mostly because of the level 3 Momo that you want to be able to play late game. So you can be able to drop this at the late game, be able to set up the plays for that, and be able to potentially do a lot of damage to your opponent in one shot. The second effect is an axe. You pay 1 and you discard... Was it Climax? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. Yep, I thought so. You pay 1, discard a Climax to salvage a character from the waiting room. And it's an axe, so you can do this as many times as you want during your main phase without having to worry about too terribly much. All of a sudden the cat decides it wants to start eating. Alright, the next one is this level 0 Nana. It's just simply a global 500 to all alien. It's to alien and animal, I'm sorry. But alien is the more predominant trait in this because only the Nanas are animal. Because like the Momos are plant and the Lalas are science. So, well, they all share alien, so just... I'll focus mainly on just the alien, like saying what traits affect aliens in this deck. So, Global 500 to all alien, really good effect. Can't never go wrong with the Global 500s. This level 0 Momo, another top checker, but it's a different type. This one's not really advised to be used in the later game, but this is good early game for some hand fixing. On play, you reveal the top card of your deck, so both players have to see this. If it's an alien character, you add it to hand and then you discard 1 card. So you get some really good hand fixing later on, set up some plays, especially for your level 1 game, it helps you set up so much. And then the secondary effect is when one of your characters gets frontal attacked, you can send her from the field to the waiting room for that character that's getting frontal attack to gain 1000 power. This is more useful about level 0, level 1-ish, not so much late game, but if you happen to get that off late game, it's really good. Yeah, then next is 4 copies of this level 0 Lala, which is actually a runner, surprisingly enough. It has a resonate ability with this level 3 Lala that at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can reveal this Lala in your hand to move her to an open position of your center stage. That's the resonate ability, but then the first ability she actually has is if the number of other characters you have is 1 or less, she gets plus 1500 power. So she can get to be a 35 runner, just straight up. And then if you got like this Momo on field, you can make her even bigger if they swing or whatever. So yeah. Sorry, I keep saying my apologies. I'm gonna try to stop that. But 4 of her definitely doable because you only run like 3 Lala. 3 at the level 3. Then this level 0 Nana. This is the one that's a little expensive because it's a double rare. And it can be really splashed into any of the 2 of your decks. But this one in particular is a pay 1, tap 2 of your characters, mill 4. For every climax you hit, you can salvage a character. So really good, and you just set up more plays. So that's it for level 0. We got 6, 8, 12, 14. been a trend lately with a lot of my decks is about 14 level 0s. Not sure why. But yeah, that's perfectly fine. To go start off the level 1s, we have this level 1 event, Project Harem. It's a level 1, cost 1. You add back 2 alien characters from your waiting room to your hand, and then you send this card to your clock. So you take a damage and you have to pay a stock, but you don't have to like discard off of it or anything. That's still pretty good. Then is this level 1 Lala that is essentially a Winter Moment Akatsuki clone, but it's at level 1, so you kind of, you don't mind getting pushed to level 1 before your opponent, so you can go ahead and drop these down and get their effects out of the way. But basically, on play, you can discard 1 card, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 alien character amongst them to your hand, and the rest of those cards go to your waiting room. So, very useful effect, and can set up for this level 1 Momo. Let's see. Yeah, basically the way that this combo goes is you want to be able to use her to set up, because of her first effect, that on play you can pay 1 and discard a card to summon a level 1 or lower character from your waiting room to the field. So you put a lot of stuff into the waiting room via her effect, and you're able to summon those back because one of the level 1 Nanas is really broken. We'll get to that in a second. Then the other effect is that she's a level 1 and lower reverser. So if she gets reversed by a level 1 or lower character, she's taking them with them. So the main one that you're going to want to summon off of her first effect is this level 1 Nana. It is a 1 cost, 55, but if the number of the alien characters you have is 3 or more, or 2 or more, sorry, I have to look at the card again. 3 or more, she gets plus 1 level and plus 1500 power, putting her at a 7k base, level 2. So also, on top of that, she has Character Encore. So basically, it's almost as if the deck sets this up so each of the sisters works off of each other. Set up plays, use this, summon this back, and you have like a full field at that point. So pretty good. To round out the level 1s, we have this also from the trial deck, 1500 backup Lala. And that does it for the level 1s. It's really simplistic, but you can set up with this deck so easily it doesn't even matter. So we got 4, 8, 10, 13 level 1s. I'm still saying, oh, so much. So I'm trying to stop that. Next is the level 2s. We're going to start off with the first Climax combo of the deck is this level 2 Nana that Climax combos with True Friends. The first effect she has is up to twice per turn when another alien character gets played from your hand. She gains 1,000 power until end of turn. So she can buff herself up a whole bunch. Off of her own effect, like if you play her and then you play 2 other cards, she becomes a 95 alone off of that ability. Then the secondary effect is the Climax combo, that when True Friends is played, you can add back a character from your waiting room to your hand. This is during the Climax phase, so this actually gets around the level, the anti-salvage, Hatsukaze, Sitting Mikon, stuff like that. Because this happens during the Climax phase, Hatsu and then activate during the battle phase. But you add back a character, and then she gains an additional 1,000 power till end of turn. So all in all, with Climax and everything, she can buff herself up by 4,000, because twice off of her first effect, once off of her secondary, the Climax combo, and then 1,000 from the 1k1. That alone puts her at 11.5 before anything else, before your globals or whatever. So really powerful. Then we got, let me put this back real quick. I put 1 copy of this level 2 Momo. This is, she has Clock Encore, and she gets 500 power for each of your other alien characters. So she can become very big as well. But she can also stay big defensively, and then be able to, deal yourself a damage. That's whatever. Who cares about dealing yourself damage nowadays anymore, right? LOL. Then we have this level 2 Nana backup. It is a 2,500 backup. This is the anti-change backup of Tool of Ru. It is a little bit of a weird cost that I don't like to do unless I absolutely have to, but, that's kind of how the anti-change effects work anyway. When you use this card's backup, you can discard 2 character cards specifically, from your hand to the waiting room, and if you do, send one of your opponent's characters that has a level higher than their level to the waiting room. So they can still encore back the character off of that, but they lose attacks, so you can get around that pretty easy. make them waste resources. That's perfectly fine to me. Last for the level 2s is this. It's a Momo and a Yami, but it's an alien trait, so that's all you care for. Basically, she's a level assist in front and on play, the same top check effect as the level 0 Momo, that you look at the top card of your deck and either leave it there or put it to the waiting room. And that rounds out the level 2s at 6. Getting into the level 3s, I'm going to show off the level 3 Lala first, and we'll go from there. So the level 3 Lala, since you've already seen that, and it resonates with the level 0 Lala, on play, you check the top card of your deck. More top check effects that can still help for the level 3 Momo. But if you don't have this in hand and you just want to be able to drop as many Momos as possible, the other cards set up for that pretty well. But if you top check in, if it's an alien character, she gets plus 2,000 power for the turn. Also on play, she heals 1. So really cool to be able to set that up. Be able to, if you need to clock yourself at level 3, or clock yourself like, do yourself damage and then play her, heal that off, while still setting up for the level 3 Momo, which we'll go ahead and show off right here. This has a wall of text, but it's perfectly fine. If the number of other alien characters you have is 3 or more, she gets plus 1,000 power. So being able to have base stats of 11 straight up just for having a full field, which is really good. The on-play top check ability is when you play her, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a alien character, burn your opponent for 1. So just being able to just play as many of these as possible, burn for 1, and then be able to set up for her Climax combo, which is a Climax combo with Heart Racing Approach, another 1k1. When the Climax gets played, you can discard a card to summon a character from your waiting room with a level equal to or lower than your level. But basically, more often than not, you're going to be summoning... also, the character summoned by it gets plus 2,000 power. Sorry. So, then you have this level 3 Nana, which is what you're mainly going to be summoning off of the Momo. She has an early play ability. Basically, if you have this level 0 Nana in your clock, but I don't run this level 0 Nana, I'm going to run it for a different build, but not for this one. Basically, you run her for the secondary effect. When her battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 1 stock to attempt to burn your opponent for 1. So basically, what you want to do is be able to drop as many Momos as possible, do the Climax combo, and summon as many Lalas over top of them as possible, and just reverse everything. Even if your damage doesn't stick from them, for every single one of these that you have successfully go off, that's a burn of 1, straight up. So, if at most you're able to play 2, and then summon 2 of these, that's 4 instances of burn for 1 after, whatever damage you got going on. So, really good like that. And then, that's it for the level 3s. So I had to straighten up the climaxes there. So 9 level 3s. And for the climaxes, we are going to have... Sorry, having to straighten everything. Is 4 copies of the 1k1 True Friends that combos with the level 2 Nana. And then 4 copies of the 1k1 Salvage Trigger that combos with the level 3 Momo. Sorry. OCD is a thing. But yes, that's the deck. And Momo is best girl. I know I said Tearju is best girl in another video or something like that. Anyway. But yes, thank y'all for watching. The other Climax combo that I would like to be able to set up if you have these is based off this level 0 Momo. That when her Climax gets played, you do yourself a damage, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and summon any cost 0 or lower characters from those 2 revealed cards to the field. So if you have, like, if you reveal these level 1s, or even this level 0 Nana, you can summon them without their drawbacks, and just have a whole bunch of beat sticks. And I think that'd be funny for, like, a first turn early play effect, and just be able to potentially swarm the field for only taking 1 damage. So that's a different setup if I can get the promos, but these are kind of hard to find apparently. Otherwise, that is the deck profile. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out.